So it's a Sunday morning. I'm about to set the decks up to record a few mixes back to back so I can get them ready for the YouTube channel. I haven't connected anything up yet because still a few people are saying in the comments they'd like me to go through kind of, a full walkthrough of the setup process. I've kind of done some short videos on it, but yeah, right, it's going to be really messy. None of this is scripted, but I'm not promoting any equipment or gear. It's nothing like that. I'm just going to take you through the process of setting up Pioneer DJ-3000 mixer, CDJ-3000 pair. So first thing, I've got an 8-way power adapter, power socket, so we're going to use that. Next, we've got the Pioneer provided lockable power cables. So the CDJs and the X9 mixer come with these bad boys, and yeah, they're lockable, so there's like a clip, so less chance of getting it knocked out in a gig or a venue. Now obviously I appreciate you can't really see the cables that well because they're inside of flight cases, so the people that say my decks aren't even wired up, seriously, honestly. Okay, for the audio signal, so the sound can go from the decks to the mixer, I do not use like the red and white phonos. So I use a single, so it is a phono connector, like an RCA phono connector, but it's digital. So it only needs a single lead, and that sends a stereo signal. So it's one of those, which will come out of the CDJ-3000. I'll do the same on the other CDJ-3000. Single digital out. Now the way I configure my setup is that although I've only got two CDJs, you'd think CDJ1 and CDJ2, right? But quite often with a 4-track mixer, you would, well, some people would set it up like track 1 and track 2 as in CD1 and CD player 2, right? But usually in clubs and venues, they might have 2 turntables, vinyl turntables, and 2 CDJs. They might have 4 CDJs. Well, in that case, the configuration can sometimes be different, but the majority of the venues I've been in, the 2 main key CDJs are actually running on channel 2 and channel 3. So I see these as CDJ2. So I'm going to plug this in channel 2, digital input on this one, and CDJ3 on this one. So I run from the 2 middle channels on the 4-channel mixer. In other venues, they might use the outer 2 as the main channels, and then these 2 or 4, like maybe the vinyl decks or 2 other CDJs. But the majority of venues I've been in, and when I play at the Arena MK, this seems to be the configuration on the big main arena stage setup. Right, let me just plug the powers in. Now comes the ProDJ link part. So this is where I actually use RJ45, I think is the correct name, but like a network cable. I've got 3 nice black ones. My son actually bought me these. He said, well, what do you want for Christmas? Not this year, but last year. I was at Christmas 2024. And I said, some matching nice black leads. But I'm really happy with these. They're well braided. The clips work really well. So as long as you look after your gear, you should be good. So there's a network port on the mixer. That's where one of the cables will go. Let me just drop that to the floor for a second. Next one. There's a single network port out the back of this CDJ-3000. And I'm not going to lie, you saw the trouble I had just then. They're a bit of a bastard to get to be honest. When they're in the flight cases, this screen actually overhangs. So it's kind of, it's almost guarding the cables, which, yeah, in one sense you could say that's great. But from a setup point of view, it's an absolute ball ache, if I'm honest. Right. The other end of those network cables then are going to go into, I've got a little TP-Link 5-port network hub. I'm not specific about what numbers they go in. That needs its own power source, which is here, so then that's going to get power as well. So I need, as a minimum, 4 power sockets. 1 each for the CDJs, so straight away that's 2. 1 for the mixer, that's your 3rd one. And then the 4th one is just to power this network hub, because this one needs power. And let me just plug that in. So that would be it, and could be it. Now, if you're wondering why, what's the point of the ProDJ link then? I can put 1 USB memory stick or SD card into 1 CDJ. And because they're linked via the ProDJ link, the network cables, it means that I can come over to this second CDJ, click source, and tell it to pick up the link from the other CDJ. And that way, I only need 1 memory stick or 1 SD card, and I can access the music on both CDJs. That would work alone, but obviously I plugged in the mixer as well. The reason for that is because the beat effects on the CDJ, the beat effects on the DJ M89 mixer, it can auto-detect the BPM of the track that is literally playing from the CDJ. What? So that, in turn, means that any delay effects, echo effects, any of the special effects and the beat effects that I apply in a mix means that if there's a delay or an echo, so where something might go, show me love. So if I said, show me love, and I hit the delay on the word love, it would be like, show me love, 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 love. That repeat, the repetition, the delay or the echo, that would be in time with the tempo of the music, rather than it going at some random ass tempo, which then almost sounds clashy with the tracks that they're playing. So yeah, that's why I link them all together, simply because the beat effects can sound musically tight with the rest of the tunes that they're playing. I personally sometimes use an additional network cable. So I've got this long blue one here, doesn't matter what the colour is, but I've got this blue, but I sometimes plug this in and plug that end directly to our home wireless router, my internet router, which is over on that stand over there. But I don't play from streaming music sources, so for me, I don't necessarily need to have them connected. One thing that's an advantage from connecting them though is it'll often come up and say that there's like an update. An update might be required. If you don't connect to the internet, none of the devices can speak to like the Alpha Theta, Pioneer DJ website, etc., and know that there might be an update. So there's a thing for you. So it's always worth connecting them to the internet. I'm not going to do that today. Don't need it. Like I said, I don't play streaming music. Now, if I wanted to have this configuration, like at an event, with a laptop, I would then also need to make sure I pick up, this is another TP link actually, not sponsored, I'm telling you. No, I'm not going to say there's links in the description down below. You can find these things on Amazon, just go find them. I'm not trying to make a penny from you. So yeah, USB. So what I would have to do is connect there's like a port A and a port B on the top here for USB. It's got the old school, again I haven't got one of them leads to show you, damn it, like a square USB. You might see those on a lot of back-end controllers and things like that. Or it's got USB-C. So I could connect that into here and then also connect the laptop into it. The CDJs also have USB connectors, again also the square ones like you see on the back of a controller. So USB out of that, USB connect this mixer, USB out of the other CDJ, USB, so all into here, and then also connect my laptop, my MacBook Pro to this as well. And then what I can do is inside the software, like the DJ software, I can use these guys to control the DJ software. Serato, Traktor, obviously Rekordbox in performance mode, not in export mode. Well, so to get the full DJ experience, yeah, you'd want to be in performance mode. It does do stuff in export mode, but it's not the best. Because all that is your MacBook just effectively becomes a USB stick. Now, the one other thing I do doing these YouTube videos and mixes is this. I have a double XLR. This is a nice cable. I'm glad I picked this up. Again, this is something I just picked up off of Amazon, but I'm happy with this. Really good quality. So double XLR there to a single mini jack, just like a normal, headphone jack. Small one, not the big one. And that is going to go into the camera that is literally looking at me right now. So I'm going to plug that into the audio in on the camera. I can't do it at the moment because I've got this wireless microphone connected. But yeah, in a second, when I disconnect all this, I'm going to put that in the camera. This bit is just going to come out of the two main outputs on the mixer. That is it. So that is every connection made. Recap, the power cables, which are lockable, brilliant. They come with the decks and mixer when you buy them. The two digital, so single digital RCA cables. And again, I get why people are saying in the videos you can't see the cables, because I suppose when I edit the video, I try and, because the cables are messy, right? So I try and cut the video quite high. If you're looking at the top row here expecting to see decks plugged in, yeah, I'm not DJing in the 1980s and 90s anymore. I used to, yes, and that's where I would plug them, yes, but not in 2026. They're telling me, oh, it's so frustrating. Right, the one other thing I need to do for me to literally finalise this entire setup is literally plug in that 8-way extension that I showed you. If I can find the end of it. And that is then going to get plugged in down here somewhere. And this is why it's also a hassle for me to try and set up and do these mixes for YouTube, because I don't know, you could probably see it. I'm going to show it on the camera, hopefully you can see it. They're like our garden furniture cushions. We don't have a garage. We haven't got a garage. The shed's absolutely packed, and I probably wouldn't want to put them in there anyway. So we've kind of got the cushions shoved down the back of our sofa, our settee here in the front room, the living room. And mate, it's like I have to shift, go and then put stuff in there. My son thinks he's Arnold Palmer, the golfer. So I'm trying to. I wish I could open this curtain and get more light on me, natural light, but I've closed it because there's so much shite behind it. He's got all his golfing gear in there behind the curtain that I just don't want you seeing it. Now I'm going to switch everything on and get set up for the mixes. So there is a power button on the back of there. Here we go. Yeah, that's lit up. I do always power up the CDJs in the order I want them, because, so the mixer's gone on first. Just loading up. Excellent, that's done. I'm going to power up this CDJ on the left because I want it to be the first that's recognised. You can get the CDJs to auto-detect the CDJ number. So 1 through to 6, I think it is. Don't quote me on that, I can't quite remember. I've kind of locked him in to say, I want you to be CDJ2, and I want you to be CDJ3. The reason I've done that again, just to reiterate, is because I use channel 2 and channel 3. So as a professional DJ, you're stepping up to an event where you haven't connected anything. It helps that you can look at the screen, bottom left hand corner, it tells me player 2 in the bottom of that corner. So then if there were 4, I can check and see player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. Or, now here's the confusing part, what might happen is you have player, let me get this right, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. So 1 and 4, 2 and 4. Gets confusing, right? So like, how do I know which channel I'm queuing my track on, which one? That's it. You just look in the bottom left corner. That says player 2, that says player 3. And I don't know any AV guy that would set it up differently as to the player number relating to the channel number. So at least that way you've got a fighting chance of knowing which channel you're playing from. I shouldn't need to change anything on the mixer here, but channel 2 and channel 3 are set to digital signal. But again, that is because I use that single digital RCA cable. If I was using the phonos at the top here, I would then put this to line. Well, that as a CDJ I would. If I was plugging in Technics turntables or Pioneer vinyl turntables or SoundLab, anybody's turntables, I would actually make sure I switch the input to phono. So phono, line for CDJs in the red and whites, digital, because I tried to give you the best quality audio. You've got B and A, which relates to the USB. So I mentioned if you're USB connected to a laptop and you want to play from the software, DJ software. But again, I don't want that or need that. There is also a Bluetooth option, because the DJ MA9, thanks to this antenna, lets me connect and play from Bluetooth. And you might think, really? Is that something you'll ever use? Yeah, here's the thing. So I thought about doing this once. I don't know if this might give some of you a bit of a tip. At the Arena MK, the first event I did, they just had background music playing before I came on. Now, all the other events I've kind of been on while people are coming in the building, but they were coming in the arena and there was no DJs on, no one on the stage, background music. And then it was a case of they were going to introduce me. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the event, blah, blah, blah. DJ Hurley from MKFM. But then I jog up onto the stage, then hit the play button, you know, before there's any sound. I was like, why is this? He's been introduced on the stage and there's no sound. So I thought, in the future, if that happens again, which it then never happened again because I've always been on since I've opened the doors, but I thought, I'll take my mobile phone, have like a track or an intro track ready that I can play from my phone immediately. So go up to the stage. If you're the first DJ on, you've got the opportunity to do something like this. Go up to the stage, have a channel, put it up, put this to Bluetooth, put that back to digital. So put this to Bluetooth, have the channel up, step away. And then as soon as I say DJ Hurley, I can then press play on my phone, just a music track. And it will immediately play because I will have had it Bluetooth connected to the mixer. And so that way, as I'm actually stepping up onto the stage and walking to the decks, there's already something coming through the system, which is already part of me, you know? Be it one of my edited intros, DJ Hurley in the mix, or just the start of a track. At least it's my music playing. Then I can come in and mix from that. So yeah, that would work. Cool. So that's a little tip, how you might want to use the Bluetooth. If you're a wedding DJ, this gear's probably a bit too much for wedding DJs, but as a concept, you know, you could just have some music running from an iPad, or, well, again, from your phone if you want, just running from Bluetooth before you then step up and start doing your big gig. Or if it's meal time at a disco, that kind of thing, you know, at a wedding, people are eating, rather than you standing there mixing while they're eating. Why not just shove something on Bluetooth and let it run? It's an idea. It works. $2.5 for a mixer though, for a wedding. Just stick with the controller. Maybe the controllers have the same options. Depends what controller you get, right? Thank you for listening. This video is way too long now. Take care. I'll see you in the mix.